Christopher Syncere is a rising young star on the hip-hop scene. His life is marked by abandonment and the weight of being enough. He gives us an inside look behind the Christian music scene, his experience in a performance-driven culture, and how God used men to fill the void left by an absent father.
UPD starts now.
Hey friends, thank you so much for joining us today on Untrained Philosophical Discussions. My name's Johnny Hansen. Right there's my good buddy Andy Lamb. And today we're in the interview room. That means we got a special guest. Christopher Syncere Dean was born and raised in Orlando. He started making music at 16 years old, and his most recent album, This Used to Be Fun, released April 2025. His music focuses on telling the story of his life growing up in a fatherless home and without a godly example. Christopher has recently signed with Tribl Records and is producing music that is speaking to this generation, and he's becoming a change agent for the kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Christopher Syncere.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. It's I think even as soon as I walked in, I'm a guy that likes to go off of vibes, as weird as that may sound, but it was a real cool feeling walking in here, and I think it's evident that you guys are all like friends and actually know each other, which I think is major. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. So I guess we'll start out with what was your upbringing like? What kind of household did you grow up in when,
Born and raised in Central Florida. I lived everywhere, man. Which I guess I'll start there. By the time I was 3 years old, my dad, left the home, and my mom, she got pregnant with my sister in high school. My sister was the firstborn. By the time my mom was like 20 or 21, she had me. Her and my dad were married for a few years. And then a couple years later, they're divorced. So my mom is like maybe 20, I feel like 23, maybe, single mom of two kids. And, I think in hindsight, I can have a lot more grace toward my mom, because I'm like, man, I know what it's like to be 23 and have responsibilities. To have two kids on top of that, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you do it? So, but my, that's kind of my, upbringing, man. It was a young single mom, working at, Perkins or, wherever she could, serving was always her, being a waitress. And so, just trying to make ends meet, and so we oftentimes got evicted growing up, and, I know all about the food stamps life, and you know what I mean? And, the food stamps would hit, I'd be lit. I'm like, we're going to Walmart. I'm getting all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, which, as sad as that is, I think no child should have to grow up in that. I don't want to make it sound all bad, like it was just all rough.
Right.
Never is.
Yeah. I love my mom, and I love their family and the family friends that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the guys that shaped me in a lot of ways,
Of course.
And so I'll never look at them with like disdain or, anything like that. I wouldn't be here without them.
Let's unpack that a little bit, because we were speaking a little bit before we got started here with the cameras.
Yeah.
And, some kids, when their parents divorce, they get split custody, and mom will have the kids for a while and dad will have the kids for a while. But that wasn't the case for your household, was it?
Yeah.
I grew up in a house like that. My dad, at one point in time, decided he had better things to do.
Yeah.
And I had a little brother, and I had a sister who had passed away. And he decided he wanted to be somewhere else, and he went ahead and did that.
Yeah.
So my mom for a while was, she eventually remarried, and I had a stepdad, but for a long time there, she's on her own, 2 kids, 2 ratty little kids, and is doing the best that she can. And to credit your mom and what I think you're saying, My mom would always find fun stuff. I don't think I recognized that we were like super poor
Right.
until much later. You know, it's like
Right.
other kids kind of were the reflection of our poverty, but it was never, I never felt that way. You know, when we got food stamps and government help,
Exactly.
I never really recognized that that was unnatural. It was only like really reflected off of other kids that stuff was more apparent. And then especially once you go to other friends' houses and then there's a dad there and a mom and they've been married and that's mom and dad and you're going, oh, this is different. So dad skates and he's not interested anymore.
Yeah.
And I think in one of your songs, you talk about he then went on to at least produce more children or another child.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, man. So, you know, my relationship with my dad is, I mean, it's pretty much non-existent. You know, my dad walked out at 3, like I was 3 years old, and so I don't really remember much of him. I mean, I can remember when looking back at pictures.
Right.
Oh, I vaguely remember this day at like Chuck E. Cheese. I vaguely remember this day at like, you know, Disney World and stuff. But as far as like any actual concrete memories, I don't really have many of him at that age. There was a period when I was like maybe 6 years old, 7 years old around then, where it was like spring or summertime or maybe both, where I remember going and spending time with him.
Yeah.
And I think because I didn't have a dad growing up, it was like I looked at him like a superhero. Like he's like,
Oh, yeah.
like my mom, I remember her trying to say things like, why are you looking at this guy like this? He's like not around. He sucks. And I'm like, no, but that's my dad. He's like my superhero,
Yeah.
you know? And so I remember like, in a sense, he's like a mystical figure almost, like.
Yeah. Wow.
You know,
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. It's like,
When he's not around to show you his flaws, you can start building that thing up like he is something special.
right. And he like, you know, he dressed cool and, you know, it's like he always had the Jordans and, you know.
Gosh, of course.
And so I thought he was just the coolest guy growing up. And also like he is you know, he was a barber. He used to cut a lot of celebrities' hair. So, you know, Chris Brown and Shaq, and he'd show me pictures with them. And this is back when Shaq, you know, before he went
he had
bald.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
When he, you know, Miami Heat and that kind of era and stuff. And, you know, I vividly remember he gave me this picture of him and Shaq, and I like took it to my school and I was like, look, guys, my dad, you know.
Yeah.
It was like show and tell.
Of course.
And so growing up, I'm like thinking this guy's the coolest. And so getting to spend, you know, a couple of weeks during summer and spring with him, I vividly remember those times. He had these swords. They were like dull swords, but we used to like, you know, sword fight and, you know, just little goofy stuff. And so I remember these moments, and at that point in my life, there was nothing bad you could say about my dad.
Yeah.
But coming around like maybe 4th grade, I want to say, I started to notice him and my mom would argue a lot. I'd hear them on the phone just arguing a lot. And it was always about me. It was like, you know, why are you not around? Why are you not, you know, in
Helping?
Chris's life? Yeah, helping. And I didn't understand what evictions were, you know, like actually being evicted. I just knew we moved a lot. you
Yeah,
know?
of course.
And I thought in a certain sense that was normal, because my life at that point was very short-sighted. You know, you've only been alive 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah, you don't have any perspective.
Right. This is you kind of know, okay, we're going to move every year.
Things kind of happen around you when you're little.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're just a passenger in this vehicle called life.
Yeah, man. And, you know, but I remember there being times when my dad, you know, would say that he was going to come pick me up. And,
Yes.
You know, we're going to come spend the weekend together, you know. And I'll never forget, man. This is like etched into my mind of the reason why I will never be, you know, Lord willing, that type of
Man.
guys, like, I remember sitting against the wall in my room, like backpack packed.
Yeah.
My mom had just bought me a new Kane and Undertaker wrestling action figures. I'm like, I can't wait to, play with these with Dad. And he never came. It's
Isn't
like
it amazing the details that you can remember of those situations, like
Yeah.
what you were wearing, where you were sitting, that are
Yeah,
just
man.
etched into your brain.
Yeah.
Because of critical moments like that.
Yeah, man. I remember, I remember my mom's phone. I had it. I'm sitting here calling him over and over and over, and 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and then it hit me. I'm telling you, man, I'll never forget because it was Friday night, and they had Friday Night SmackDown. You know about Friday Night SmackDown?
Fee.
Yeah.
Wrestling's real.
Wrestling's real.
It is.
And it's like, I think it's Friday Night SmackDown would start like 8 p.m. and I wanted to watch it with him.
Yeah.
And it's like 7:30. I'm like, this guy's not coming. And I remember just crying the whole night, man. And that was like around that time is when I started to realize, maybe, but this guy's not all that.
Yeah.
But even then, I think in my, 8-year-old, 9-year-old brain, I'm still like, no, this guy's the coolest. It didn't hit me, and it didn't really hit me. I actually ran into him earlier this year. My wife met him for the first time.
Yeah, you said like at the airport?
Yeah,
in one of your songs?
How long, before you tell that story, what was the gap of time between when you saw your dad at the airport and when you had seen him last?
So my last time seeing my dad, I was 17 years old. He came and picked me up because, he wasn't like trying to hang out. We had to go to like the child support office and like, he wanted to, whatever goofy stuff. He wanted to like show me, this is what your mom, had me doing all these years, doing child support. And I was like, all right. And then
Okay, Dad.
Cool guy.
Yeah, I'm
nice.
like, yeah. I had this like Golden State Warriors shirt. That's my favorite team. He's like, oh, so you like the Warriors, huh? And I'm like, he's trying to do small talk, and I'm like, bro.
Time's passed, homie.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I just graduated high school. Like,
What are we doing here?
yeah.
Why you got me here?
Yeah, that was.
Were you frustrated with that?
No, I'm surprisingly not, because I still was like, oh, maybe this is the time that he's actually going to start coming around. Because even then he was saying, oh, text me whenever you're free and I want to come hang out with you more. It never happened. But I still believe that stuff would happen. I was with him maybe 2 hours that day. We just went up to the child support, place downtown, and then he dropped me back off at home. And then prior to that, I hadn't seen my dad since I was sixth grade. I was 11 years old, man. I remember a conversation. This is so, you guys are bringing it out of me, man. I remember a conversation my dad and I had when I was 17, when he had picked me up, because I was telling him I was like into music and I want to be an artist one day, and and he's like, oh, just make sure you're good, because you want to, he's like, oh, when you're rapping with people, and they start to like pull their phone out and they're not paying attention, that's how you know you're not good, man. And being in the airport, flying out to go do a show with my wife,
Yeah.
it almost brought me back to that conversation of like, telling him that I wanted to be an artist one day, and here I am
Doing it.
and going with my wife, who he didn't know I was married, didn't know anything about, my life. And so we're walking in the airport, and this is like out of a movie, man. He's walking through this door and we're walking in the airport, and we're coming and we're crossing, like literally just like that, man.
Wow.
And as we're walking up, I go to my wife. I was like, babe, that's my dad. And she had only seen pictures of him, like,
Did your heart start racing?
Yeah.
Felt nervous.
Because there was two parts of me where I was like, man, I want to go off on you right now. Mm-hmm. But then I also know I don't want to cause a scene in this airport, and then I look like the bad guy,
Right.
Yeah.
So I kept it cool, man. I'm walking out. I'm like, babe, I think that's my dad. And she goes, no, it's not. No, because I'll say stuff like just joking, like, if there's somebody that looks like him, I'm like, oh. But she's like, oh shoot, that is him. Like, and we look just alike. It's hard to miss. He's like a little bit lighter than me, and he's bald, which I thank God that didn't pass down to me.
Yeah, that genetics comes from your mom.
Yeah.
Your hair does.
Oh, thank God. But yeah, he just cut him. He's like, oh, what's up, guys? You flying out? I was like,
Small talk.
yeah. I'm like,
Once again.
just walking in the airport. Of course, we're flying out. Where,
The bags I have.
We're here for the
doing
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We came to go to the
Yeah, the food court's great
Taco
here.
Bell in the food court. Yeah. But and then I introduced him. I was like, "This is my wife. It's your daughter-in-law."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
How does it feel to tell him that's your daughter-in-law? Is there a party that just wants to be?
it sucks.
You don't get to
man.
enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that moment, because I saw the look in his eyes, and I felt sad for him, man. Like, and we saw him at another point in the airport. We were in front of the gate getting ready to fly out, and he had walked by us, like he had walked past us, and from a distance, like he did one of these, like look and then look away like that, and like he saw me, and then he just kept walking. He acted like I wasn't there, and I felt sad for him, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what that's like to be now almost 50 years old and look back on your life and say, man, I got that I know of 4 kids from 4 different, women,
Yeah.
not in any of their lives, and they all don't like me. You know what I mean? And like, and I missed out on, I'm his firstborn. Missing out on, his son becoming
A man.
a man and like a husband and
And being a part of that.
yeah,
And finding success too.
yeah, man. And
But like
so,
just sculpting this little human that thinks so highly of you. And, I want to pause here and
yeah,
say to our audience, like, men, divorce is not the end of your responsibilities as a father.
facts.
Those kids are still looking towards you.
Yeah.
And you have every opportunity in the world. If you're one of those guys that, because of the shame, you have stepped back, maybe you think that these kids would be better off without you, I'm here to tell you, and I think Christopher would say the same, is first off, it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Start today. It's going to probably require some quality time. You're probably not going to earn their trust overnight. But if you hear anything in this message here, it's that I don't know anything about woman's mind. I'm sure it's similar in this sense, but I know for a man, you're always looking back towards that dad and going like, this is who you're my representation of a man. And it leaves a lot lacking, and it leaves a lot of confusion.
Yeah,
And don't miss this opportunity. And if you're a guy that feels the weight of I'm still trying, and maybe the mom's a tough cookie and she's not giving you much of a shot, don't stop trying. Just keep pushing in. Those kids are going to know that, and they're going to come around too. So don't ever stop as dads. Dads, you are so pivotal. Man, don't give up.
yeah, yeah. That's good.
So you
man.
see him in the airport,
yeah.
and this conversation starts out superficial. Is it only superficial, or do you
Yeah.
get to kind of explain, hey, this is my wife, and he gets excited or anything?
No, we talked for like 45 seconds, man. It was like, and I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, wow, that was it. Like, you know what I mean? I hadn't seen you in freaking
10 years.
Yeah. It's like, this is the only thing he has to say. And so,
What'd your wife think afterwards?
He shakes my wife's hand. He goes, Chris, we got the same name.
Me too. I have the same as my biological
Yeah.
father.
Yeah, man. He goes, Chris. And she goes, Angela, nice to meet you. And then, and
Is there a part of you when that happened that you felt like you wanted to protect your wife from him? Like, you don't get to enjoy this?
I feel that sometimes, yeah. But there's still part of me, man. I don't know if this is like the kid in me still. There's still part of me that's like, I want that
Of course you do.
relationship.
Of course you do. That's
You know what I mean?
that's a like God-given feeling. That's the
Yeah.
design of what God created is for that.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's
Yeah.
I think if you didn't feel that way, I would think that would be unnatural
Yeah,
more
I
than
think
anything else.
it breaks something inside of you that when we're broken, we want to be healed. And I think when a dad leaves, it breaks something inside of you. So there is that part of you that like it's very hard to find healing in that place, especially like he's still around, and then you're bumping into him infrequently. And then to have them always be these kind of disposable moments that just don't seem like they're impacting him. And you always kind of hope that one of the times it's going to turn the tables and he's going to go,
I'm sorry.
man, I screwed up.
And what's
And finally validate that feeling
how-
inside.
Yeah.
how simple it would be for him to go, I'm sorry, and for you just to be able to create a relationship with him after. That's all I'm looking for is you to own it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not saying that we're going to have this amazing, beautiful relationship, but even just like you're an older man, you should, at an older man, be able to look at a younger man and go, that's on me.
Yeah.
And so to not receive that, I think that there's a lot of weight that comes with that.
Yeah.
And as an older man speaking to a younger man, it's not you. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know, I think very often as I have conversations with people who are in your experience, because I felt this because my dad wasn't around growing up. My dad's here today and amazing, but because he came to me and apologized. And so we've been able to reconcile that, which is beautiful. But I think it's very easy for young men always to, especially boys, dad's not there, always just to question, what did I do? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know, what is inefficient about me that you don't want to be around? And so I think the devil can be very crafty and sit you in that and then lie to you and make you believe that it's something to do with you, and it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bro, yesterday, literally, I was telling you guys this before the podcast started. Like I was in counseling yesterday, and one of the ideas I'm talking about, there's like this kind of, I notice in marriage, there has been this almost repetitive cycle in my own life where I am running with this narrative that I am not enough. And it's like,
Do I ever talk about that here?
Once or twice.
yeah, yeah, man, it's hard, man. You know, like it's the picture of the man that I want to be is like, I think of like the Pastor Mikes of the world. I think of the Andy Lambs of the world. Like I see you guys being present husbands and present fathers. And that is the picture, you know. And when I look at myself at times, I'm like, there is still this little 8-year-old me that, you know, is just like
Holding two action figures waiting for dad to show up.
yeah, man. And so there's a lot of times I don't feel like enough, and that shows up in several different areas of my life.
Yep.
And I think somebody on the outside looking in can say, this is the type of life that I want. But I'm telling you, man, if I could, really trade in whatever success people think I have, or whatever, if I could trade that in to have grown up in a healthy family, I would, like, in a second.
Yeah.
If it meant I was just some no-name nobody, normal life who just skated by, but I like had a healthy home.
Yeah.
And I would trade it. But then on the flip side, I'm also like, man, if I didn't have that, like if my dad was around, I would have become just like him. You know what I mean?
Maybe
it's like,
gosh, ain't that part of
yeah.
it?
We were just talking, just yesterday. Felix had asked the question about, because, we have years of addiction between the two of us. And Felix had asked the question, if you could go back, would you do it over again? And the answer is always, absolutely. I'd rather not walk in that. But then there's this side of it that says, what I wouldn't have the voice that I have today to be able to speak to this generation who's going through with this.
Yep.
And so that you have a choice that you're sitting in right now as you're going through counseling is I can stay in that narrative of a false identity, or I can understand that this is the experience I've gone through and I'm strong enough to go through it.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to help disciple other people of what this feels like, and then how do we change things. And you clearly, as we listen to your music, and we'll get into this, is just like your ability to recognize it and then be vulnerable to tell your story and the experience that you have is vital.
Yeah.
Vital. Yeah. Did you have any men in your life growing up at all? Uncles, grandfathers, men
Did
in
your
the
mom ever
neighborhood?
date a man for any period of time?
Yeah, my mom had boyfriends growing up, but they.
Let me clarify, any positive examples of men in your life growing up?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, my uncle and my grandfather. My uncle's like testimony's crazy, man. He's like super prophetic, man.
What's his name?
George.
Shout out to George.
Yeah, shout out George. Uncle Lenny, we call him.
Uncle Lenny?
Uncle Lenny, yeah.
Right.
His middle name's Leonard, so we call him Lenny. But growing up, man, like, his testimony, he's super prophetic. Like I was saying, he was having these dreams for, weeks, I think it was, of him getting in a car accident. And it felt like God was warning him, like, you need to get your life right, man. And so, bro, my uncle's on the way back from like Tampa or Miami or something. Bro, his car flips off of the highway and lands underneath the water in a swamp. Totally would have killed anybody. None of his friends died, bro. Like, walked away without a scratch on him. And he said when he like actually finally broke out of the car, swam up, and got on land, like once he had finally gotten up and looked down, he saw the car finally go all the way under. And he's like, so he got like, I mean, radically saved. He's like he's amazing, man. And I remember my uncle, this one house that we lived in, I remember him, like, he had a spare key to our home. And I remember him like teaching me this lesson one time because he came and picked me up from school or something like that. And he's trying to get in my house and he's using all the wrong keys. And I remember him like, he's like, there's going to be a bunch of people telling you there's a bunch of different keys to be able to get into heaven. You can go this route, you can go this route. There's only one key. And then he gets the house key and he's like, Jesus is he's the only way,
Uncle Lenny, man.
Uncle Lenny.
That's
yeah.
so
Yeah. And so, and even outside of just spiritually, my uncle has taught me almost everything I know about how to actually like steward my finances. And, he taught me about business and all these things. I would not be the man I am without my uncle.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, in many ways, though my grandfather wasn't like a practicing Christian, he was like an OG, man. He was in the Navy for 20 years and, just had so much wisdom and so many stories to tell. And this is going back to me saying I was like a wise kid. I was like the only kid I knew that wanted to go hang out with my grandpa. I was like, I remember he lived like maybe 10 miles from me. I would go take my bike and just go bike up to his, to his house and just to hang out with him and like watch Scooby-Doo and, so yeah, those were my two, I would say, like, these are the guys. My grandpa passed away in 2013 and I will never forget like just our memories, man.
Yeah.
So
that's searching for that male role model in your life that you were looking for.
Yeah.
So how did you get saved at 15?
My mom had this Bible in the garage, and I remember I had this what is it? Like the foldable kind of tables that you kind of just put in front of the couch a lot of times when people eat.
Yeah.
TV dinner tray.
TV
table.
tray.
Yep. I had one of those in my room, and I just had this little chair, and I just had my Bible there. And I remember the first, man, this is the stuff that like, the first story I ever read was Jesus in the boat with the disciples. And there's this storm going on. And Jesus goes, peace, and be still. And I remember being so shocked. I'm like, yo, this guy told the storm to stop and it stopped. Like, what in the world?
Even the disciples that were there with him were like, who is this man that he has the power to control the storms?
Yeah, bro.
And they had been walking with him.
Isn't that crazy?
They've seen him do so much already.
Yeah.
And still they're just like, wait, on top of that, you control nature?
Right. He's the weatherman. Yeah. It's like, you know, so I remember being so in awe about that. And I was like, yeah, I gotta give my life
What
to this thing.
specifically hit you about that story?
I don't remember anything specifically. I don't know that I had any distinct takeaways from that. I just thought it was crazy that this guy did that.
Yeah.
You know, and I, in my 16-year-old, you know, like, you know, kind of mind, and I'm also a guy of extremes. I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all the way in.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're the same way.
Yeah, you're speaking to our hearts.
You're speaking
Yeah.
to us, man. If I'm going to do this, let's do this.
Yeah, man. And so I get saved, and it's like, literally, bro, the next day, I'm like, with my friends in the back of the bus, I'm like, I can't sit with any of you guys anymore. I started sitting in the front. I took all the secular music off my phone. And I had been to, like, my grandma took me to, like, a Lecrae concert a couple years prior to that when I was in middle school. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm Lecrae, Andy Mineo, I'm downloading all these guys' music on my phone. No more Drake, no more Kendrick, you know.
So would you say Lecrae was probably the earliest influence of music in you that kind of helped shape the way you think about Jesus?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And prior to that, it's secular stuff. It's Drake, it's
Yeah.
Kendrick, it's...
Yeah, the music growing up, man, was like, I have so many worlds of music in here.
Yeah.
Like, man, like, I'm talking gospel from grandma, you know what I mean? Like, CeCe Winans and, you know, William McDowell, those are like, and those are like my favorite gospel artists still now. You've got
CeCe dropped that track earlier this year that was fire. She's been putting out music forever.
Yeah, bro, she's been around for a minute.
She's a killer.
Yeah. So you had CeCe Winans, William McDowell. Those were like, you know, really early. Kirk Franklin was, yep. But then I knew, like, from my dad's side of the family, and I'm one of the few things I actually am grateful for, because he's Jamaican and then my grandma's Indian on that side. So I'm like, there's so much culture there, and so just like
So your dad's one of your dad's parents was Jamaican, the other one's Indian.
Yeah. And so, you know, they're like very cultured, like, you know, and so I knew reggae music from him, and, like, you know, curry goat and Jamaican beef patties, you know.
Yeah, island.
Yeah, man. And so, but musically, there's this whole world of, like, this reggae music, but then I know the gospel stuff. And then my mom, she's like knew everything, man. We're like from Fall Out Boy and Avril Lavigne to, like, you know what I'm saying, Drake and, you know, Gucci Mane and like all, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, I knew everything growing up.
Yeah.
I think the only thing we didn't really listen to was country, but even then I had my, like, Kid Rock kind of, like, phase, you know.
It.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, yeah, man, Kid Rock would have, because what 8-year-old black kid is listening to Kid Rock, man? You know,
You were.
Bow with the Ball was pretty cool, but
it was a banger, bro.
That song came out. That song still gets, if it comes
hear
to
that
rotation when I'm at the gym,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
turning that boy up.
yeah,
Yeah,
funny.
that's hilarious. So I grew up on everything, man.
By the way, one of the best concerts I've ever been to in my entire life is Kid Rock.
No way.
One of the best performers I have ever seen on any stage ever.
Shout out to Kid Rock.
Plays
No doubt.
every instrument,
Wow.
every type of music.
Yeah.
I mean, he puts on a
Kid
show.
Rock, man.
Yeah,
That's
he's
crazy.
a phenomenal musician.
Yeah.
I liked Kid Rock, man, because I was a big WWE guy growing up. He was like doing a bunch of stuff with WWE. I don't know if you remember that, Felix, like 2000, 2009 or something like that, 2010. So I was like all into this. I'm,
Yeah, buddy.
But and then every weekend it's like VH1 top 20 video countdown. I'm watching that's how I got put on to Neon Trees and Chris Allen and all these people. It's like pop stuff, but I loved it, man. Green Day, even, I'm talking everything I grew up on.
Well, and so there's two things. And because I hear the funny thing, we've been studying your album.
Yeah.
And I say studying because it's more than listening. It's like, thankfully you put the lyrics on so I can read the lyrics. I've read them without the music.
Yeah.
And then I've listened to it so many times. And you don't just rap.
Yeah.
The last song on this recent album has you're speaking. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's almost like beat poetry. Mm-hmm. And then you're also singing frequently. Almost every song has you singing, and you've got a great voice.
No, I appreciate it.
Like I'm listening to it going like, that's a fantastic harmony. And even when you're rapping, you're in the background, choose by you. And it's like, it cascades over the sound. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So I can hear where you didn't just allow, hip hop to be the only influence. You can hear like some of the R&B influences that you probably had too somewhere in there to create that kind of beautiful harmony that you can then flow over. Yeah. It's fantastic.
No, I appreciate that, man. I look back at that album and I say look back because I listened to it a million times before it even came out.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So,
of course.
Like by the time it actually hit streaming and all, I'm like, all right, man.
I'm burnt out. What's
next?
next?
Yeah. What's next, man? I'm already on the next thing. I think I'm in a place now with a lot of the music I'm working on currently. I am really trying to implement a lot of my culture. I think in Christian music, that's something I think we could use more of.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
With this concept of Christian music,
yep.
I feel like with you, you make music that's about Jesus,
right?
Rather than having the label of I'm a Christian, make Christian music. Because I think all too often, like you pigeonhole yourself when you say I make Christian music, and it's like no, I'm an artist. I make music, but it just happens to be about Jesus.
You're a storyteller.
Yeah.
You're a storyteller who talks about Jesus.
Yeah.
And who talks about redemption. Because like every track talks about you battling these temptations of your life. I mean, every track talks about that.
Yeah.
And what you're going through in these stories is like, here's the things I'm dealing with, and here's how I find victory. And I mean, that's just the consistent message throughout the entire album.
Yeah.
I want to step back, put a pin in that, because we're going to come back to the album.
Yep.
16's also when you started writing music.
Yes, sir.
What kind of, this is right after you're saved, or this starts becoming part of like a purpose in your heart, or what are you thinking here?
So I had like written stuff since like fourth grade, but actually like intentionally trying to write songs started 16 years old.
And are you buying microphones and a mixer, or are you?
Oh, I had no money for that, man.
Sure.
I'm like on my phone, like, YouTube and all this stuff. And, you could probably find, you could probably find some videos on my old YouTube channel of me just like setting the phone up,
learning,
you know what I mean? And just having my sister's phone play the music, and then I'm rapping over it,
there's
uploading it. And
I think a guy you share is on your record label too, Brandon Lake.
Yeah.
He has a YouTube. I seen a video of him recently when he was a very young boy. Yeah. Fat in the face young boy, not a big jack dude now.
Yeah.
Just this fat in the face little boy with a guitar playing in front of what is pretty obviously either a laptop or a standalone computer.
Yeah.
And just playing his guitar and singing off key a little bit.
Yep.
And everybody starts there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And I mean, geez, this is one thing I can't impress upon enough people is like, you're an overnight sensation, except for you started 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to put in the work. If I want to get physically fit and I'm I haven't worked out ever.
Yeah.
It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a road, and there's going to be some
Right.
hard times in there.
Right.
And it's all building towards this thing that, you're going to be dedicated to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Early on, I didn't know the business side of it. I didn't know anything about how to actually market yourself. I just I knew that I loved the Lord, and I always loved music.
Yeah.
And I wanted to actually write for him. I didn't release anything until my senior year as like the first like SoundCloud, releases and stuff that I was doing.
Who are you singing this stuff for? Who's around? Is it just your buddies or is it nobody?
My church,
Your church? Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you get into a church?
My girlfriend in high school, yeah, she's like, you got to come to this youth group, So, and it was huge, man.
What church was it? Do you remember?
Faith Assembly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Sure.
It's a huge church.
Yeah, man. So, high school ministry alone was bringing 400, 500 kids,
Yeah, my
on a
kids
Wednesday night.
We used to go there when they were
Yeah.
younger. They would get on a bus and go to the Faith Assembly youth group. Man.
Yeah, man.
They're great.
Yeah, bro. And really, I think without Faith Assembly, man, and without mainstream, these were the guys that because they're very into the arts, and so they gave me the platform to be able to rap and be able to practice speaking, they were very open about that. So my first time ever performing was at like a super small Christian open mic.
Okay.
I'm talking, the video's on YouTube. I can send it to you guys after.
Love to see it.
Bro, 10 people there.
Yeah.
Most of them are my family and friends. You know what I mean? And my second time performing was at Vegas. They were doing like a X Factor type of talent show type thing. And I ended up making it on to the thing. They were like tryouts at all the different high schools. It was a way to bring high schoolers into the ministry, which was genius. We're going to have all these different kids from these high schools represent these high schools. We're going to do a talent show, and then that's how we're going to bring kids in. And it was super successful, bro. I remember the auditorium being packed.
Yeah.
And that's my second time performing, man.
What gave you the confidence to do that?
Yeah.
I always wanted to do it, man.
And you just said caution to the wind.
Yeah, I'm like, if we're going to do it, man, I told you, all into something, man, you got to go all in. So I'm like,
I love that.
Begging my mom, please, I want this bomber jacket from H&M because I need to look fly. I was like borrowing my friend's shoes. I'm like, I got to look fly for this thing, man.
Yeah.
And so we did that, man. And I think at that point these guys were like, oh, this guy is like
special.
Yeah.
Who are the 16-year youth group? Who are the men that are coming around you now that are kind of playing an influence in your life of kind of help guide you what a man of God looks like?
Pastor Johnny Wilson.
Shout out Pastor Johnny.
Bro, he's the lead pastor now.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was my youth pastor. Wouldn't be anywhere without him, man. Him and his whole family, I've always just loved so much, man. Pastor Johnny, and then my leaders at the time, man. Dominic Polverino, who used to always pick me up at, 16, 17, no car, but just always faithfully picking me up, man, and making sure that I was at church, all the time, man.
I love hearing stories of guys that are willing to sacrifice time for the sake of younger men.
Yeah, man.
And just really willing to build into them. I think very often, people get to see the finished product of, and I shouldn't say finished product, the product that you are today.
Yeah.
But there's all these people that have been in the background that have been stewarding the story to make you who you are today.
Yeah.
And just how God, I believe in eternity, will honor those people for the sacrifices they made, the stuff that happens behind the scene that doesn't get glorified.
Yep.
That should be glorified of the story that you're writing today.
Yeah. It's it takes a village, man. It really does.
Sure does.
And so
especially when a husband isn't there, when a father isn't there.
Yeah, man. If it wasn't for I would still talk to this day, man. If it wasn't for Angel Donez and the Dominic Polverinos of the world and the Michael Montalvos, like you guys might not know these guys. These guys are the reason I'm here today. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for the Uncle Lenny's of the world, like these guys are the reason I'm where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So pause there. Again, listeners, boy, is that these men who sacrifice just a little bit of their time. Look at how much it means to this man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about mentorship all the time in here. And is there someone around you right now that you could step in and be an influence?
Mm-hmm.
And what's stopping you? Don't let it stop you no more. Step in. Look at what this man is saying here is how critical these men were that just took a little bit of time, and how much and how valuable that's been to him. You know, it's given him an eternity now. So, men, if you've got someone around you, please step in, fill that void.
Yeah.
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 How has your faith evolved over time? What ways has music kind of been the catalyst that's kind of help you grow in your spiritual life?
I think my faith has become a lot more simple these days. My thing with, you know, my previous church that I was at, it created a sense of, man, these people really like me and accept me. And where I maybe did not feel that growing up, I got that, I OD'd on praise there. I had a lot of influence in the church. I started an intern there. It was like these guys had me on the mic all the
This is
time.
at Faith Assembly?
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys had me on a mic all the time. I'm doing social media stuff for them all the time. My face is everywhere. I'm doing all the productions, all the plays, all, you know, everything, bro.
Feel purpose driven.
Yeah, man. And, you know, and then I'll never forget, man, 2020, like all the George Floyd stuff was happening. There was, let me not say stuff. You guys know what I mean?
Yeah,
of course.
You know, there's these riots going on downtown. And then I remember feeling led in prayer one morning to just go and pray downtown and gather people, and instead of protesting, right, we just pray. And so,
Wow.
We just had a good friend of ours, Alex Simon, on here.
Yeah.
Who goes to Grace also. And he talked about his experience being a black man living in Canton, Ohio. And people were rioting. And they were calling him in because he was a leader. And he chose to come in peace.
Yeah.
And they came after him because of that.
Yeah.
How was your experience with that when you were coming in to
How were you
pray?
received?
How were you
Yeah.
received by people?
Oh, it was very positively received. And Faith is Simple, they really came behind me. I'll never forget. I'm like praying. Pastor Johnny goes, you know, I walk over to him and he just like whispers in my ear, you know, man, you really have a strong leadership call over your life, and I'm very proud of you. Gosh. And hearing that, I'm like, the waterworks start coming, because this is this father figure telling me you're proud of me.
Of course.
What every young man wants to hear from his dad.
Yeah, man. And so,
shout out again to Pastor Johnny.
oh yeah,
Butt, dude.
I'm telling you,
Keep
man.
it
This
up,
guy,
homie.
This guy's the GOAT.
Wow.
And so, you know, I know, man, these guys, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be where I am now without any of them.
Yeah.
But when I start interning, I get to this place of, man, I love these guys and I love what this church has done, but just certain things that I'm starting to question and I'm starting to believe.
How old are you when this is happening?
21, 22.
Okay. Have you met your wife yet?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she grew up at that. She was, you know, dedicated there as a baby, went to the school there. So she,
Oh, great.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
growing
you
up.
met her there.
yeah, I'd known her since we were in high school. We weren't in the same friend groups or anything, but we had known of each other. And, you know, around the same time, we start to, you know, just hear from other teachers and different perspectives and approaches to the faith, where I start to say, man, I don't know if I align with some of the stuff here. And so, you know, like it was hard for me because I had so much influence there and I'd been so involved. And to get to a place of, I got them like tatted on my knee here, mainstream. It's like, I was all in, bro.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me, man, to leave and to make that transition because of like my whole walk. I didn't realize it until that point. My whole walk was performance driven. You know, I'm the leader guy, so I got to come up and, you know, be the leader here. And I really wasn't healthy on the inside, man. And so to answer your question on how music shaped that, I think there's the album called Baptized Imagination by King's Kaleidoscope. They're my favorite band. Who my only other tattoo is of their lyrics. This album came out at a perfect time in my life when I'm in internship. I'm questioning these things in my faith. King's Kaleidoscope, their background, they went to, the lead singer was really heavily involved at the church Mars Hill. And then that, you know.
Which one? There's two big Mars Hill. So there's one in Seattle.
Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking. Mark Driscoll was the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah. And, you know, so his kind of, he was really burned by some of the stuff that had gone on. And it really affected the way that he kind of navigates his walk now, the lead singer of King's Kaleidoscope, Chad Gardner. And a lot of his music is kind of from that perspective. It's not your cookie cutter Christian music. That's why I love it so much, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
What are the lyrics on your arm that spoke to you?
You are enough. So, you know, it's kind of my life message I'm trying to convince myself of.
And what do you think that means to you?
So when I got it tattooed, I think it has kind of a double meaning to it.
Great.
I look at it in myself. You don't need to be anything more than what you are right now. You don't need to try to be somebody else. You don't need to try to, you know, take on somebody else's image, you know, because you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You are enough. And then I think just of like God. I think of all there is in the world. You know, this world has a lot to offer, success-wise, you know, and pleasure and all this stuff. God is like enough for me, man.
Yeah.
I don't need more, or I don't need God plus, you know, a giant house and all these cars, you know what I mean? And then I'll be satisfied. It's like if God is all I ever have, like, you know, one of my wife's good friends was over at our house last night, and she just came back from a missions trip. And she's telling me these people in Thailand, man, are like having like they like sell crickets, man. They have a cricket business, and it's like how they fund the church, and their whole life mission is to just fund the church. I'm like, man, people don't have nothing but God, and they are joyous and satisfied. That's what I want. So, you know, that's kind of what the tattoo is to me. But, you know, so I, and during this time in internship, I'm questioning a lot of stuff.
Can I ask you about that? What are you questioning that's happening, maybe theologically, that's going on in that church that's making you question your faith, that's making you go, maybe this isn't the place for me?
Yeah. It wasn't even necessarily some of their stances theologically. I think for me, it was for me. I'm not saying this is, and I want to,
of course,
I still tell people to go to that church.
Great church.
It's amazing. I think from my unique perspective of being super involved, being an intern, being behind the scenes of a lot of stuff, some of the stuff culturally for me was a little hard for me to get behind. And then some of the, like, just the way that certain things were taught, I felt I didn't really, you know, align with, man.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this album, Baptized Imagination, comes out, and there's like every song, man. You guys got to listen to it when, like, whenever you get the time.
Absolutely.
Is this song "Water Wasted" on there? Like, tell me and he goes, tell me, will I lose your patience? And he goes, I miss behaving. And it's like, he's like, I miss your saving. I miss it. And he goes, this song is about, I miss these times in my walk where it was a lot, where I felt like I was like the good kid following the rules, doing, you know, and I just am not at that place anymore. And you know,
Yeah.
he's like, man, am I gonna lose, you know, your grace, God? And so
Yeah.
that album came out at the perfect time. And I think had I not had Christian music that had language that was speaking to what I was going through at the time, bro, I would have driven myself crazy, man. But being able to have music like that kind of shaped me during that time. I needed it, man. I needed it. And, you know, I think my walk now versus my walk at 15, 16 years old, the performance driven Chris, you know, I got to be the guy on at all points with everything. I'm like, man, I can't continue. I couldn't see myself continuing down that path for the next 20 years. I think I would have crashed out at some point.
The fact that you saw that speaks volumes about the young wisdom that you have, because it's when you don't have anybody that has taught you like how to be a man, what's important, where the value system is, then the world is going to speak into that. I think that's what music does. Consequently, today, that's secular music. We have secularized our country. And so the ideal man is you are successful. People look at you. You have status. You have the house. You have the material. You have all of that.
Yeah.
And what you've learned at a young age is that none of that stuff matters. Solomon, King Solomon, who had all of it,
Everything.
says, and, you know, in the Bible, he says it's all meaningless.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that you've learned that lesson at 26 speaks volumes to you.
Yeah.
But I also think that one of the dangers, especially being young, is having that much influence at a young age can be dangerous, because it can cripple you. Yeah. Because you feel like I always have to be on.
Yeah.
And it's all because of me.
But there's two sides to that.
Look at how great I must
Look
be.
how great I am. But it also doesn't allow you to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Without feeling the weight of
Performative.
I have to be perfect all the time. Perform
Yeah,
all the time.
man. Bro, I remember I wore a hat on stage one time, man. Like, and I was like, you know, because the lights, you couldn't really see my eyes, and I got chewed up, bro. And that stuff eats me up, man. I was like,
You got chewed out for wearing a hat?
yeah. I try not to say that stuff like,
Listen, man,
publicly a ton, man. But bro,
we had somebody at our church one time came up to me and asked, you know, why do we allow hats on stage? And it's like, that's not a biblical thing. That's a culture thing.
Yeah, man. I'm like, bro, is it like that deep? You know,
I want to talk about, you're our guest here on a series that we're calling Music and Culture, that really reflects those things, and how we really believe that music is a massive factor that shapes culture in general.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen in our lifetime, music have such a great influence. You know, you think about during the election cycles, different candidates will bring musical performers with them.
Right.
And they'll perform, and they know, because they've done the research, that this musician's opinion matters
holds weight.
so heavily upon a massive group of people.
Yeah.
So these kids, myself included, I loved hip hop when I was a kid. You know,
We grew up in the golden era of hip hop.
we grew up in a pretty great age.
Yeah.
You know, we had Tupac and Outkast,
Man.
Biggie,
The GOATs.
Nas,
Legends.
You know, we had just some of the greatest
Dre and
stuff going
Snoop.
on. Dre and Snoop. And I knew every word.
Yeah.
I knew every word. And it absolutely, and again, I'm not disparaging the music. I'm not Tipper Gore here telling you can't write whatever you want in your own music. You can do whatever you want. But if I'm to honestly assess my youth, the music that I was, singing with and letting absorb into my heart and my mind did influence the decision making.
Yeah.
You know, Snoop's always talking about, Snoop and Dre talking about Chronic. Outkast talking about it too. Like these other guys were talking about this, and it was like, well, there's got to be something to that.
Yeah.
So I'm seeking that out.
Yeah.
And that leads to other things. And at the same time, the fact that they did it led me into a music career. Listening to their stuff and hearing their stories was like, well, if they did it, maybe I can too.
Right.
You know, so I don't only want to speak bad about it. What I'm saying is that's how influential it is.
Right.
Well, influences what you wear,
Yep.
how you look, what you drive.
Facts.
And I'm telling you, and it's how you think, in the lens with which you see the world. So I say that to say this, you know, how do you see your music shaping the youth of this generation, the 12-year-olds, the 13-year-olds, the 15, 16-year-olds that are, you know, in that stage of life that you found yourself in, even when you started writing music originally? Like,
Yeah.
are you writing with that dynamic in mind?
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. Because I want to speak to the 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old me.
Yeah.
And so naturally when I'm sharing my story through my music, I know and I understand that there are people that are paying attention and are looking to me for like guidance and that
Of
is,
course.
bro, that's like kind of heavy at times,
Sure.
man. It's like, but at the same time, you know, I'll never forget, man. I got a DM from this kid. You know, I wouldn't say kid. He's probably 19, 20. And he DMs me like all these new outfits that he got. And he's like, bro, I just went to the mall and like I got all this new clothes because I love the way that you dress. And it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, your whole wardrobe is like Christopher Syncere now.
Yeah.
And I think back to when I was in high school when I started wearing Vans skate highs because of this rap group that I was listening, and I did the twist in my hair because of this rap group that I was listening to. And it's like, you know, when MGK, who's, I don't care what nobody says, is my, I can't say GOAT. He's up there, man. But he had these lines in one of his old songs. He's like, I hopped about the bed, said F school, I chilled at the crib. Like, and so me in my junior year, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to school today.
Right,
Like,
there it is.
You know what I
man.
mean? Like, if MGK didn't go to school, he has these shirts that said like F college on it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna
College
be like
is
this
out.
guy. Yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm
And,
saying. That is that heavy influence
Yeah.
that music has, especially on, and especially, I cannot underline this enough, on young men that don't have a good male role model around.
Facts. Yeah.
It's like, so you're only ever going to look towards culture,
Yeah.
which then is heavily influenced by music.
Yeah.
Because it's so ubiquitous to life.
Yeah.
Music is the soundtrack to our life, you know? So whatever you're absorbing becomes part of you.
Yeah.
Well, how much of that too is them looking at musicians going, this is my ticket out of here. Like, this is how I get out of this lifestyle. This is how I get off food stamps. This is how I get off moving once a year. This is how I get out of evictions is,
Yeah.
you know, if I can just make it in this lifestyle. So I'm going to pattern myself to this person that has quote unquote success. And I'm going to live my life just like them in hopes that I can have money and fame just like they have.
And it, man, even as you say that, Andy, it's like, oh, you guys got me about to turn up now.
Go ahead.
It's a crazy cycle and pattern because here's what happens. You have a bunch of rappers that are living these fake lives.
Yep.
Kodak Black a couple of years ago, he's on Instagram Live. It's like one of the funniest things he ever said, but it's true. He goes, all this money y'all think I got, this is fake money. I don't have nothing. And he's like, that's prop money. And a lot of these artists, they're really in debt to their label.
Yeah.
And they don't really have, like, they have the stuff, sure, but they don't really have wealth.
Aaron Lewis did an interview yesterday that came out.
Aaron Lewis was part of a
Band called
Stained from our generation.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
He's a country artist now. And he's being asked, you know, what was it like signing to a record label? And he's like, I was instantly in debt, way above my head, money I could never pay back.
Yeah.
And he goes, my entire career, we've had massive platinum selling albums. This is back when you actually sold a CD.
Yeah.
You know, and he goes, we were only ever in debt. He goes, out of every dollar, and he does a terrific breakdown of where all the money goes. And he goes, if there's 12 cents left, and that's a big if, I then pay taxes on my 12 cents.
Right.
Because you get an advance frequently, Not always. We didn't with
Yeah.
our record label. We had a small label. But even then, that guy paid for our studio time. He paid for the album to get printed.
Yeah.
And when we didn't make enough sales, he shelved us.
Right.
And it's hard. You then just live this life of always trying to like make them get even.
Yeah.
And they don't want to just break even. They want to make a
want a
profit.
profit.
Obviously, that's why they invested. So you live this debt cycle behind them, and then try performing and being, an artist anymore at that point in time, because you're a slave to what you are pretending to have. And and then they button you up and put you in front of a camera in this certain look.
Put some diamonds around your neck that ain't yours.
Bro.
That are on loan that you got to give back.
Yeah, man.
Put you in a car that they rented or that maybe the producer has.
Yep.
The guy who's got all the money, he lets you stand in his car and be up in his house.
Yep.
Pretending like it's your house.
Yep.
We did all that stuff. It's like, this is not reality here.
Yeah.
I live in a 1-bedroom.
Right. Yeah, man.
And I had a roommate. It's like I have a roommate in a 1-bedroom. This is success. I became more poor.
Yeah, man. It's I think of like Michael Jackson, bro. This guy died like $400 or $500 million in debt.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Right.
He's one of the highest selling artists of all time. Michael Jackson. And but anyway, so what I was saying is, you've got these young kids, in the hood, and they're saying, I want to be friggin' NLE Choppa and whatever guy is out now. Like, I want to live a life like these guys. Well, here's the thing. You want to live a life like these guys. These guys don't really have what you think they have. And so they're rapping about this stuff. They don't live in the hood anymore. They live out in friggin' LA, like living in an actual nice neighborhood. They're still talking about killing people. They're still talking about, just dogging women. And then we have the youth actually living the stuff that these guys are talking about, but not really living. You got, D1 says this a lot. These guys it's like the soundtrack to actually murdering people.
Absolutely.
And so you have, like I'm thinking of like a 18-year-old kid that is in the hood, no dad, friggin' Future is his like role model. He wants to be just like this guy. Well, Future's talking about, like, whatever drugs and sex. You want to go be like this person. You're actually doing the drugs. You're actually murdering the people. You're actually doing this stuff to women. And this guy's reaping the benefits from it, but he's not even really reaping the benefits from it. It's the label reaping the benefit from it. It's like,
that's right.
It's like everybody loses. And I think that's why it's big to me that I understand business, so that I don't go into deals like Tribl and saying, man, okay, what do the percentages look like? How long are you guys going to be earning on my music? How am I actually going to be benefiting from this? Because it's not just
how'd you go about learning those things?
Books and YouTube and just like
You studied.
Yeah,
Do you have a mentor that has helped walk you through that?
Someone you can trust.
My uncle has taught me a lot about finances.
Uncle Lenny?
Yep.
Uncle Lenny.
Uncle
Gosh,
Lenny.
we love you, Uncle
Lenny,
Lenny.
shout out, man.
Yeah.
You're a killer, bro. Keep it up.
But
love you, man.
Specifically in the area of music, I didn't really have a lot of people. I would ask questions to certain people, but a lot of people would be vague.
Why do you think that was?
Maybe because they didn't have the wisdom or maybe the knowledge of like what not to do. But I always wanted to go to people that like knew what they were doing. And so my manager, Luca, is amazing. He's kind of my, my go-to with stuff like that. Because as the Tribl deal was being worked out, I'm saying, okay, this is their contract. I don't understand everything in this. Can you break some of this stuff down to me so I can actually better understand it? I know a lot, but I don't know everything.
Sure.
And so, it is important to me that I understand, and I think I need to be more vocal about this also just on my own platforms. Like, to help people avoid these pitfalls. If you're going to take an advance, like, you need to look at what consistently is your music doing, not just because you're hot right now and have a hot record. And
That's
so
such
you
a
have a
great point.
boost in streams, you have a boost in, social media presence. This stuff is going to plateau out one day. And when it plateaus, how much can you really take on in an advance where you're going to be able to make that back and then start earning your money back again?
That's so important.
And people just don't think like that. I think had I not had this wisdom, bro, if you were to tell me as a kid that grew up on food stamps, grew up moving around a ton, his mom has to work double shifts all day, you go and take this kid and tell him, I'm going to pay you $500,000, I'm going to pay you $1 million, I'm going to pay you, $5 million advance.
Yep.
This is life-changing money.
This generational feels like generational changing money.
Yeah, bro. Like,
$5 million is unfathomable.
it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to pay you this, and not everybody's getting a $5 million,
No, but we're
record deal,
speaking
but, like,
in a sense.
a lot of these guys, even $500,000, $1 million is like, man, this is the stuff that could change I'm going to go buy
Mom
a house.
hasn't made that much money in her entire working career.
Right. And I'm making this just in one. And then, you're telling me we're about to go on tour and okay, well, cool. When you make the album and the album only makes $50,000 or, $80,000.
Yep.
Boom. I still got $420,000 that
right.
I still got to pay back on this. Merch only sold $100,000. We went on tour. We only made $100,000. So I'm still a couple $100,000 in debt to you guys.
Right.
And then the album process has slowed down. The spike has, dipped, and we've plateaued. We're not making the money. Well, now I'm in debt. Now we got to put another album out to try to earn that money back.
Yeah.
So now I need to take on another advance to get this album
that's
done.
exactly
and
right.
it's the cycle, bro.
And then you have people that they get that big paycheck, and it's like, well, I'm bringing the crew with me.
yeah.
Right. And so
Yep.
now that money's just gone like
Yeah,
that.
man.
Right. And so that's the pitfalls of being careful who you surround yourself with
Mm-hmm.
as you are even becoming successful and gaining fame in what you're doing as well.
Yeah, man. And I thank God for my wife, man. I mean, I had taken on, and this was not Tribl. I did a separate distribution deal, which I can't speak a ton on, but I had taken in advance from not any future work, but just my back catalog. They paid me in advance, and in my mind, I'm bringing this to Angela, and I'm like, let's go buy a house. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to put a down payment, and she's like, well, maybe we should, pay off like the rest of your dad, and go ahead and pay off your card.
Gosh.
Let's
Honey, why
invest.
do you want to be responsible and stuff?
Right. I'm like, let's invest some of this. I'm like, man, let's go hit the mall.
Right.
Like, we put a little bit toward clothes. We put a little bit toward, the house. And so I thank God for her, because I think without her, that money would have been gone, bro.
Yeah.
God
buddy.
knew what you needed.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So let's get back to those lyrics that you're writing now. So
Yep.
you are writing, hoping to influence this generation coming up. Obviously, what you said there about this discernment you've gained over time of what is actually happening behind the music, that's critical. Thank you for sharing that. But how do you go about developing your lyrics? Who's in mind? What are you thinking about as you're going? Obviously, we said this before, but you're a musician who talks about Jesus.
Yeah.
Something has changed in Christian music. So
Yeah.
there's still a stigmatism to saying Christian music,
Yeah.
but audience, if you're not checking out any Christian music, I'm here to tell you it's changed significantly.
Yeah.
It is every bit as good as anything else on the radio.
Facts.
The quality, the lyrical content,
Yeah.
and in fact, so sonically, it's as good as anything else on the radio.
Yep.
But what we're kind of pointing out here through our examples of some of these other rappers that are talking about this other stuff that's very vulgar and short-timed. Biblical music reaches a different place. And we actually talked about some of the science behind that too, and how there are things that happen in your brain when you're worshiping God that don't happen when you listen to secular music. It touches a place of your brain that isn't touched in any other time.
Yeah.
So something else is happening there. I think God put that in us. So who are you envisioning? How are you going about developing these lyrics? I know in one of your songs, Specifically, I think it's like the second line in the song. You said "little bro."
Yeah.
That song, you're talking to what sounds to me like a young man who's curious, and you're telling him about the pitfalls to watch out for, and then you tell him about the glory of God too throughout the rest of the lyrics.
Yeah. When I'm writing and as I approach music, I want to make something that sounds on par, like you were saying, with, because Christian music has always, I felt like, tried to keep up with secular culture. You look historically, Christian art is at the forefront.
Absolutely.
Whether
Led
it's
the way.
whether it is architecture, whether it is music, whether it is clothing,
Yeah.
like it was Christians that were behind art,
That's a brilliant observation.
and it wasn't Christians trying to keep up with whatever the secular
They
world
were
was
setting
doing.
they were setting
They
the
were
pace.
setting the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at some point, it's like now it's the Christians trying to keep up with it. We got to be the ones setting the
I
pace.
love that.
And so as I'm writing, and even as I'm like, I'm trying to think of creative ways. Like I'm, now my kind of the next frontiers. Like I want to do these like planetarium shows. Like I'm trying to craft some stuff with my guys right now. And our next, like, I want to do my first tour, but I don't want to do it in typical venues. I want to do it in planetariums, like the big domes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And if we can create something and film it on like a fisheye lens and have it, because it'll actually look sick in the dome.
Yeah.
And you can create a visual present. Like this is stuff that the secular world is not doing.
I see you in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, bro. Oh my gosh.
In the 90s,
Yeah.
they used to have in Nebraska, I grew up, they had a planetarium.
Yeah.
And they would do like these laser light shows, but they were playing
Cool.
like Pink
Floyd.
Floyd,
That's hard.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Now you were go get stoned and then go sit in there and watch these laser light shows.
Oh,
in the
I'm sure
planetarium.
you'd-
But it
yeah.
was-
You did.
What's that?
You did.
But it was, but it was incredible, man.
Yeah.
It was incredible. So I can
Yeah.
visually see like how that would be. For you, it's about the art of it.
Yeah, man.
Right.
And I want people to be able to respect Christian art, like not just tolerate it, but respect it.
Well,
and so
I grew up in the 90s in Christian music.
yeah, different time for
It was
sure.
awful.
Yeah.
Like when a Christian song came on, you knew it was a Christian song
Yeah.
just because the music was, I'm sorry, but it was lame.
Yeah, yeah.
So
DC
yeah,
Talk.
weak.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the Christian hip hop I grew up in. Was
Yeah,
DC
man.
Talk,
DC
right?
Talk.
I love that you're addressing that it's not just music.
Yeah.
You're talking about, and you, in a recent interview you did with Grace Church, shout out to Grace Church, you talked about one of your favorite paintings is the Scream painting.
Yep. Yep. Edward Munch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you're capturing the perspective of, you're creating art. And I think that gives more value to the way you then even approach trying to write.
Yeah.
You're trying to be on par with these great artists of time. Instead of competing in this realm that you're in, you're looking beyond that realm and saying, I want to create something that has that kind of value.
Yep.
Munch's painting was done how long ago?
Yeah.
And we still, it's in museums today. It's
Yeah.
still admired today for what he put into that. And
It's timeless.
it's timeless.
right.
And I think a lot of, you said it, there's a disposability to artists now, what we'd call artists. These rappers that come in and they're on fire for 5 seconds and then they're right back out the door.
Yep.
And I think it's because ultimately what they're writing, is fairly void of anything eternal. So when you're writing for the eternal God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're
man.
trying to influence, these people to step into eternity with you, with Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different approach.
How do you go about writing?
Yeah. I first, I'm a storyteller at heart.
Yeah.
And so when I'm writing, it's a lot of my own experiences kind of woven into, my music.
Yeah.
And then I'm saying, okay, I don't want to just babble on, but how can I write this in a way where people can listen to this, and how can I use even certain words or certain phrases where people can listen to that and say, I relate to this. If I share too much about my personal story, well, then it becomes, okay, I never went through that specific thing. But if you kind of generalize certain things while sharing your story, I think people can look at that and say, oh, I relate to.
I find myself in there.
Right. When I'm saying, the daddy issues song on the, like this idea of like, I didn't share the specifics about my sibling and finding out about, this sibling that I never knew about.
But you mentioned it.
It's mentioning it.
And we talked about this before we started recording.
Exactly.
I have multiple other siblings that my father sired and never wanted anything to do with either.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, the second I heard that song, I was like, we got it. I went and told Andy, I said, we got to get this guy in here to interview.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much we have in common as I listen to this. And I think it is some of the vagueness that you leave some things vague so that they can't be pushed back against. It's like there's just enough in there to find relation, but not too much to fully spell everything out.
Right.
Your song "Okay Now," it's kind of the same thing. It's like tells the story of a loss of a friend.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think most people can relate with stuff like that. And then, so how do I deal with it? And how do I deal with it? Maybe I wasn't there for that person like I probably should have been or could have been.
Right.
And so there is a dynamic to telling stories where you have to share some of your personal life even within that, so that, because when you hear that, then I can become relatable with you. If it's just catchy beats or just catchy
one-liners.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what I would call like the Christian platitudes that everybody can learn, stuff like that. There's no depth to it.
And it's not that it's not okay to have a catchy one-liner in there.
Sure.
You've got a bunch of them.
There's got to be a hook.
Yeah.
But like, you tell about the pain, you tell about the victory, and always you tell a lesson somewhere inside the song too. Like, this is where I learned.
Yep.
And then that's where the song always then transitions to that. If it's the first line is the pain, the second line is the victory, and it's the lesson learned between the two that weaves the whole song together. I
was big on one of the things I really liked about TV shows growing up, like Zack and Cody and Hannah Montana and stuff. I'm a Disney kid, man, through and through. And so in a 25-minute episode, and this is, even as a kid, I'm telling you, I'm thinking like, I'm not just watching the shows just to watch them. I'm like, man, this is good stuff. Like, you see conflict, you see resolution, and you see a lesson learned, and that is a cycle. All these Disney shows, you watch them like, and there's a bunch of goofiness mixed in because you have to have the comedy, and but there's conflict, there's resolution, there's a lesson learned, and that's what makes a classic TV show. If you do that over and over again, and then tell a story, like you tell individual stories per episode, and you also tell a story throughout the whole season.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And so, I think of like a Wizards of Waverly Place. That was one of the shows I grew up on. It's like, you have... These
are the shows my kids grew up on, so it's really cool to have this.
Yeah, man. Like, you have the Russo siblings, like from the very first season. It's like, man, one day there's going to be this family wizard, tournament that's going to determine who the family wizard is. Well, then you get to the end of the season and you finally come to the conclusion that, but then there's these individual episodes that tell stories, conflict resolution, lesson learned throughout it, leading up. And then you have, so I think of albums like that. I think of songs like that. I think of what is the overall story you're trying to tell. And then let's break this up into several different songs. And then even within each song, what's the conflict? What's the resolution? What's the lesson learned?
So that's the platform that you try to stick with when you're writing, kind of the theme that you try to write with. Yeah,
man, because I think that's how you just
I think it's great.
On a business side. I think it's how you build a brand. If you just are putting everything out into the air and hoping that it sticks, you're not actually building a brand. When people come to Christopher Syncere, they know what they're gonna get. They're gonna get storytelling. They're gonna get not the like cookie cutter kind of stuff. You're going to get real life. You're going to get, pain, trial, triumph,
Victory, yeah.
right. You're going to get it all. And that's because I think there has been a consistent, since 2021, when I started first releasing to now, I think there has been a consistent story told.
Yeah.
That's what I love about like NF, like people like that, or
Yeah.
somebody like a Toby Nwigwe, like even just in their the way they dress, their color schemes, the way they actually present their art, it's consistent, throughout years.
Yeah.
And that's how you actually build something where people can buy into.
Absolutely.
I want to touch on social media with you because you've talked about, there is a draw. We call it here a necessary evil, because if you want to build a brand today, it's absolutely a part of your life.
Yeah.
How has social media been a platform for you to grow? But what would be the advice you would give to people to be able to protect yourself, that you're not just going after the views and the likes, and how that does not explain who you are, how that is not your identity, is not on how many likes that you get.
Yeah.
How do you protect people against that?
I'm glad you asked that. I think I've come to a much more, kind of grounded or like mature stance on that. Because I feel like I've actually, this is going to sound funny saying this to older guys, I feel like I've lived enough, at least.
He's talking about you when he says older guy.
I feel like I've lived enough to actually like say, man, this stuff really doesn't matter that much. Mm-hmm. Like social media is great for actually being able to get yourself out there, like you said. But man, my wife and my friends and what they think about me, and the experiences and memories that I get to create with them, that's like real deal.
That's real.
That's really what matters.
Yeah,
like,
buddy.
and I look forward to like visiting my grandma and watching Medea movies, and you know what I mean? Like, I look forward to, man, when's the next trip with my wife? I look forward to, when is my wife coming home from work today? So that we, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
so that we can actually just spend daily time together. I'm at a place now, social media, it's like I think because I've gotten the viral videos and I've had these moments, it's like you get there and it's like you realize it's not that crazy. Like, it's not
The
that
buzz
much.
is fleeting.
It's so fleeting, bro.
And then it like takes more. It's like any drug.
Yep.
It takes more every time to get you the high that you're looking for. If you get 1 million hits and the next video gets 15,000,
Right.
you go, what's wrong with me?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, what is that?
Yeah. I think
mean,
I think I've learned even just a lot on like the algorithm side of things. You will have videos that go viral, and then you have just your average videos that'll do your 10, your 15, and that's okay. It is like, it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't need to hit 1 million views every time. You don't need to hit 10 million views every single
and
time.
why do you think that
post.
they don't need to hit that?
Because the goal shouldn't be numbers. I mean, in the context of music, at least, I understand if you're like selling a product, obviously numbers matter, and you want to. So I can't really speak into that world a ton. But for artists or creatives or anybody who is trying to be like a leader of any sort and win people over,
Yeah.
man, numbers don't matter. Like, when I look at Jesus, I see Jesus when a crowd started to form around him, I see him slip away from the crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And go be alone with God. I don't see Jesus going and, oh, give me more attention. Give me more. I need bigger crowds. I need to speak to more people, because Jesus, I think, knew there is so much weight to what I'm saying. This stuff is, he would even don't tell anybody. He's like, don't, but you can't help but to actually go and, share what the Lord is doing in your life, because it's powerful and it's life-changing. And then you go from one person to 10 people to 20 people. And then now the gospel is here in Orlando, Florida, when it didn't even start here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so
Your value perspective has changed.
right. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
To confess,
Yeah.
you know, with our social media, I mean, very early in our social media, we had a couple of videos that just went viral for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a dopamine hit. It was like, oh, we have something going here. And then we went
Yeah.
a long period of time with nothing. And
Yeah.
it's like, and we're grown men going,
What am I
like
doing?
We
what
did
if
something wrong.
What if
Yeah.
they like our stuff? Why?
Yeah,
you know,
man.
why we think what we're doing is pretty awesome. Why isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
this is just a consistent reminder. Like, we're going to continue to make what we make and put it out there. And if
Yep.
something happens with it, glory be to God. And
Yep.
if it doesn't, glory be to God.
Yeah.
Well, and we
man.
talk frequently. Andy and I talk together outside of the podcast too, and we encourage each other. There's days where one of us is feeling doubt, and we'll communicate about that, and really we'll pray about it, and be like, consistently, the message from God is, "Am I still on the throne?
Right.
Do I still got control of this stuff? Well, then
Yeah.
I got this." Again,
That's good.
Paul plants a seed, God waters the plant.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Well,
it.
When you put a lot of time into this, and you put a lot of money behind it, and you put
Yeah.
a lot of effort into it, and a lot of thought into it. It's consuming.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for both of us, we have businesses we own and employees we run and families with kids. I mean, there's a lot that's going on, and so
Yeah.
to add another thing into it, there's a lot of time that goes into it. So sometimes
Yeah.
it's easy to question: is this thing that we're doing really worth all the time and resources
Oh,
we're putting
100%.
behind it?
Yeah, I've felt that too, man. I think it's so strange the way social media is for artists now, and even this. Think of this podcast. We're, I don't know, an hour and a half. I don't know how long we've been recording the actual episode, and then we got to like just the way we can't like just post the whole thing on Instagram. You know, we still got to break it up in like these 30-second things, and then I think of like even just as an artist, I got to pick what is the best 30 seconds of this song.
Yeah.
How can I make content around it? So sure, I have worked on this song. I have toiled over it for hours, for days, for weeks.
Yeah, buddy.
Sometimes on one song for a whole month, 2 months. And then you post this joint, and then it's a 30-second clip, and then the average watch time on that clip is 6 seconds because
Gosh.
people are just scrolling and
Ain't that right?
right. It's like you spend so much time on this, and people and I love to watch how people scroll. Like that's kind of my thing. I like when my wife is on the couch, I'll just kind of pay attention. I'll go through social media with her, and there's some posts she'll just in like 2 seconds scroll, and I'm like, I think of just for the content creators, for the artists, for the podcasters that are out there, like. You're putting so much into something. People are watching this joint for 4 seconds. And that's why I'm saying numbers don't they're not everything. If I can get, for the people that aren't watching the first 4 seconds of this, for the people that are sticking around and watching the whole clip, amazing. For the people that are watching this whole clip and saying, let me go and watch the podcast episode, we like even better. But it isn't for that. It isn't for the 4 second viewers. It's for the people that are gonna.
That's right.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
great reminder.
Actually
How have you
get
gone
bought
about
in.
developing that perspective?
I take a lot of breaks from social media. I haven't posted a reel on social, like on Instagram or like a TikTok video or YouTube Shorts, since it's August now. I feel like I haven't posted anything since probably May or something like that, like May or June. And I don't feel the need to right now, man. Because it's not what I'm chasing. I don't feel like I need that right now. I think before I was going back and looking at like some old TikTok videos, man. We got to post 3 times a day. We got,
Oh yeah.
because I'm chasing it, man. And I think it was necessary. I think had it not been for that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I'm not speaking all bad about that, but I think just where I am now, yeah.
Do you ever see it being part of your marketing of your brand, that it's a necessary thing to do again, or do you feel like?
Oh yeah, 100%. And there's even some I'm so excited about, like the new music I'm putting out. I think it's every artist always says, "Oh, this is the best stuff I put." I really do think though.
Every podcast we get done, we're like, "That's the best one we ever did."
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's but I really do think across the board, I think the type of reels that we're gonna start doing, Like I want to do stuff that is different from the average Christian artist who just is propping their phone up, has some like whatever caption, and I want to actually make something that is visually catching to the eye, because I notice that people, you know, they quickly scroll. If it's not visually catching to the eye, they're gonna keep scrolling.
That's why we have Felix. That's why we have Felix, man.
Yeah,
we have somebody, because it left us to. I mean, if you go back and look at our stuff, of he and I doing it,
Yeah. Yeah,
and then
man.
you bring a guy who is gifted,
Right.
and artistic,
Knows
and
what
can
he's
see
doing.
those things.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, man.
You, obviously, your most recent album, This Used to Be Fun, came out earlier this year, April this year.
Yep.
How soon after that you said, and we totally understand this. So
Yeah.
you're listening to it for the years as you're developing this album.
Yep.
And by the time it drops, somewhere in your brain,
Yeah.
there's something that happens where you go like, all right, that's done. And even though you still have to perform on it and you have to tour on it, that chapter almost closes at that moment.
Yeah.
How soon do you start writing new music?
So the album came out April 25th. I started writing new music in like June,
Yeah.
like beginning of June. I was like, I mean, we went into May. I had like had, you know, some shows that I was doing, performing the music and whatnot. And,
Yeah.
and then I think what really did it for me, and this is just I was like, I got so discouraged, man. Felix was there, man. I did the album release party. It's like at a movie theater, and the visuals weren't working, and it's like I'm over here in the background trying to work it out. And bro, the show was supposed to start at 7. I didn't pull up till like 7:50 or something. Like I walked in mad late, and I was like, I hate this right now, man. And so that really put a hit on me of like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Jeez.
And so
How'd you get past that?
I don't know that I am all the way past it.
Oh.
I still beat myself up about that. I think that was one of the worst shows I ever did, bro.
And it's supposed to be one of your greatest.
Yeah, man, and I feel really bad about it, because when you have stuff that people are like paying money to see, you want to be able to give them like an experience. And you know, I thank God that Felix let us use the speaker setup and the lights and stuff, but it was supposed to be with the visuals on this theater screen. We did it in a movie theater, man, and you know, to just have like a dark movie theater is like I hated it, man. And so I haven't put my own show on since then, and I think because I'm like
A little PTSD.
yeah, bro, man.
There's
I don't
something
know.
to be said about wanting to put out quality products.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about wanting things to be excellent. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think if you weren't feeling that way, it would say a little bit more about your a lackadaisical approach to what you're trying to do, and that's just not who you are. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah. At the end of the day, I understand it is what it is. You can't go back and fix anything or change anything. You can only improve for the future. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, you know, I want to make sure that I'm more on point with stuff. And I also learned that night that I need to stop doing everything alone. And like I need to actually just humble myself and bring on people to help me, because it's me trying to be the lone star, like, is to my own detriment sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
is that
So,
a challenge for you to ask for help from people?
yeah.
Or to give up control.
Yeah, man. Like one of the things I am like big on with like, and we did like a short film earlier this year and stuff.
Yeah.
And even in that, my wife was saying things like, you know, are you sure you don't want to bring on somebody else to help you direct? And it took forever for me to finally hit my guy Will up and be like, bro, can you help me kind of plan some of this stuff out? I've never done this before. I know this is your world.
Yeah.
It's not my world. Can you kind of help me navigate some of that? And so, you know, but it takes me a while to like, I'm getting better at it, but it takes me a while, man, to ask for help. Even in the, not just creatively, even in the context of marriage, like I try to figure out everything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a control thing?
I think it's I want to prove myself thing. Like, like I don't want you to think that I'm incapable of doing this. If I don't do this alone, you'll think that I'm incapable. And so,
My
that
wife-
kind of makes my value. But go ahead.
My wife's very similar to yours in the way that she will constantly give me great ideas and advice that I don't necessarily take instantly, because not unlike yourself, I do want to prove myself, prove my value. And I think what a great thing for your wife to step in and say, because the truth of leadership is being able to delegate responsibility.
Yep.
And choose the right people is part of leadership too. So you do want to get the right people in place, but if you've chosen the right people, delegating responsibility is true leadership.
Yeah.
The general's not the one that's leading the battle charge. He stands back and he has the full sight of the entire battlefield. He's not heading down into every section. And I think clearly you're a leader. You've been given that responsibility from even a young age. How do you see your career moving forward from here? Are you collaborating with anybody? You're on a massive, awesome label that has some phenomenal, unbelievable. Half my phone's filled up with artists that are on your label.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it until I started investigating some of your background. I'm just like, holy smokes.
Yeah. I talked, with them about doing like some collabs with like Maverick and stuff. I don't know that that's in the cards for me, just where I want to take this, which is hard, because I think career-wise, it obviously is a great move, but I don't know that is authentic to what I'm trying to build.
Gosh, that's so great.
And
what a great perspective.
Man, it's
what an
hard,
honest
bro.
Perspective.
Yeah, man. There was an opportunity, and I've never shared this publicly, but I will. There was this song what's the song? And the angels cry, holy.
Yeah.
So there was a song that came out with that song, and this artist KB.
I'm familiar with it. Did a remix.
Yeah.
I have it on my phone.
Bro, I was on that song, and it. I had a whole version recorded to it, and just what was going on behind the scenes. I said, I don't know that this works with what I'm trying to build and what I'm trying to do with my career. And then that song releases and it goes on to be huge, and I'm like, frick, man, I made the wrong move. That's what I think, right?
Yeah.
But I think in the end, authenticity is going to win. And even if that doesn't mean numerical success, I'm fine with it. And so
you're always going to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big part of it. Like, you got to be true to yourself, your brand, and your goals and your vision for who you want Christopher Syncere to be. And nobody gets to write that narrative other than you.
Yeah, man.
And so sometimes saying no to things is saying yes to other things.
Right.
Right.
Facts.
And then you get to, at night when you lay your hair down on the pillow, you got to go, I'm true to myself. And you just said it a second ago. Numerical success doesn't mean success.
Right.
It means that I'm living out the calling that Jesus has set in my life, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's I think moving forward, I think we're about to go on a crazy run right now, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I think just the stuff, like, I got the next year planned out, and I think I'm trying to I'm in a place now. I think I might go back independent, like on contractually. I got just a couple more releases. We talk about renegotiating and stuff like that. I don't know that I'm going to. I think I'll go back independent and really just bet on myself and the people around me. And I think the stuff we're talking about, I mean, I told you guys a little bit, planetarium like type shows, and actually going to other states and doing this stuff for the first time, I think is going to be crazy, man. And
when you say we're, who's we're?
My boy Graylin, who I've known from mainstream. I've known since I was 16 years old, man. Graylin is he's my stylist. He does all of my like when I have shows or when I have certain appearances, where what are the types of fits that we're gonna be trying to put together. So Graylin's my stylist. I have Will, he's my photographer and videographer. James is another one of my photographer and videographers. I got Luca, who's my manager, and the whole Orenda team. That's kind of the collective. And so we have A&Rs there. We've got freaking lawyers, like when it's time to talk business and stuff, lawyers to be able to be in contact with. And I'm trying to think, man, is there anyone? George, my producer, not my uncle George, but another George, who's my friend Isaac's brother I was telling y'all about since our rap group back in the day. And George is my producer. I got another producer, Caden. And so, yeah, man, it's like, it takes a village to make this thing, man. I know sometimes it can look like on the surface the artist is kind of the head or the face of this thing. If you ever
Which you are.
Yeah, sure. But it's like, you ever look at like, CD. I still be buying CDs and stuff. Like I just like to buy CDs, and you read the little booklet that's in there.
Love the booklet.
And it's like every song you just see
18,000 people.
Yeah, it's like, so this guy is the face of this thing, but you got this A&R, this engineer, this producer, these writers, what I mean? And they put this thing together. It's a group thing. And so I think there is no shame in, and I kind of would speak against the super, super, super independent artists that are, because no artist is truly independent. You do have some people that try to be, though, and it doesn't end up.
Again, leadership is delegation of responsibility.
Yeah.
So if you want to be successful, you do need to be able to delegate some things out, or it'll just overwhelm you.
Yeah.
And you'll get burnt out.
That's real, man.
What's your favorite song in your catalog?
Oh, good grief. I got a song called Don't Die that came out in 2021. And one of my good friends, Imani, she had committed suicide when we were in high school. I talked with her on a Friday. We stayed a couple hours after school, and she was kind of sharing just some stuff that she was going through. And literally, bro, that Monday or Tuesday after, that was my last conversation with her. Like, we had a prayer circle at the start of school every day that I would lead, and she wasn't there, bro. By the time fourth period came around, my phone's getting flooded with text, and it's like, she had passed. And so that song took me years to write, man, because it was every time I tried to write it, it was like, this is too heavy. But that's got to be my favorite I've ever done, because it's the most personal to me. Favorite song to perform, I don't even know, man.
I really
know. It's like my babies.
I think one of my favorite. It's tough to say. I'll put it this way, because it's, this will make a lot of sense, I'm sure. It's all on my perspective on the day.
Yeah.
Is what's my favorite. But the one that I woke up singing in my head today was I Wanna Be.
Yeah.
And
the banger.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I went to the gym before we came here, and I'm listening to it, and I'm just like, I love the texture of that song, man.
Yeah.
It's like you do different like pauses in some of the orchestration of it.
Yeah.
And then your lyrics come out. Your lyrics come out, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They come out so fast.
Yeah.
It's like they just
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo. And then the music comes in, and it's this bed of music underneath it. And I'm just like, this is so good.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Production is like but I grew up a Kanye fan. Kanye is one of my favorites.
It can tell. I was going to say that piece also. Like, there is, I forget what song it is, but I hear a lot of like old Kanye.
Yeah.
College Dropout Kanye.
Yep.
I hear like, and then I hear your respect for other styles of music in there, because that's really what I'm hearing as the bed that you then rhyme over.
Yeah.
Is some of that
I appreciate
90s Tribe Called Quest kind of like stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And it's right in, and that speaks right to my heart, because that's what I was listening to.
Grew up on. Yeah.
The Tribe was huge when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that, man, that's the stuff that I think is really I think when you have one-dimensional artists, it kind of hinders. It kind of
It
hinders
certainly
you,
can.
It kind of hinders you, because
Especially if you want to have longevity, which is what you're shooting for. You're shooting for a
Yeah,
lifetime
bro.
career.
dude, you look at like college dropout Kanye is not the same as My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's not the same as like Yeezus or Donda or Jesus is King. Like these,
Right.
you got these, and they're all different sounds. But you got to evolve.
And because he's such a public persona, each one of these falls into a different chapter of his life.
Right, right.
So it's very interesting to see, just as a human, he's such an interesting subject
Yeah,
to like watch all these different things he's gone through. And it's like, it's such a tale of caution.
yeah,
It's unbelievable. I know people either like him or hate him,
yeah.
but really if you can step beyond your feelings of it and just see the man that's there,
Fascinating.
you
Man.
just see all these different ways all these different temptations
Yeah,
And all these things he's searched after.
and all these ways
Right.
he's tried to fill himself.
yeah,
And it's just like, man, my heart goes out to the guy.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Felix wants to know, if you were a WWE star,
Jeff Hardy.
what would you?
There it
what,
is.
What would
Oh.
be your walk-in song?
Oh, walk-in song. Oh man,
Oh boy.
I thought you were gonna say who would I be?
He wants to know who would be. What would be your walk-in song?
Oh, this is great, man. I'm visualizing it now, man. Walking out
Flames
with
everywhere.
the fireworks. Yeah.
Yeah. Crowds going crazy. Would they boo or would they scream? Are you a good guy or a bad
No,
guy?
I think I'd be one of the good guys, man.
For sure.
I could see myself having a little heel turn though. I'd like turn on my tag team partner and kick him in the back one time with it.
Yeah.
Man, my walk-in song.
Well, I'll say mine. If I was a fighter, I don't know if I
Yeah.
was in the WWE. If I was a fighter, I would absolutely come out to Hatebreed. I Will Be Heard.
No.
God, I just feel like I listen to that song. I know it's secular.
Yeah.
I love that song.
8 Mile. Just the song 8 Mile from the 8 Mile soundtrack. It
Oh,
just starts
yeah,
with this
yeah.
really cool, just
This
this cool roll
yeah.
beat, man.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, man, what a banger. Man, yo, what? This is the hardest question I've ever gotten in
So
this
funny.
whole interview.
Well done, P. Got him.
My walkout song, man, I'm gonna steal from CM Punk
Here we go.
back in the day. Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality.
By the way,
Yeah.
the second cassette tape I ever purchased was Living Color.
Yeah. That's
Cult of
crazy, man.
Personalities. The second. The first one was the Metallica Black album, but
Metallica, yeah.
the first second cassette tape I ever bought was Cult of Personality.
That's crazy,
for that
man.
song,
Yeah, man.
Cassette,
That's like
buddy. Cassette.
that's
I ain't-
cassette is crazy.
That's going with
yeah.
that for me.
So we're moving towards wrapping here.
Yep.
I wanted to, again, this interview with you is the third part in the series of music and culture.
Yeah.
How do you see moving forward from here? How do you see, your music and music in your genre? How do you see it taking that place that you're suggesting, which is taking the forefront of music and really starting to lead the music, and then I think, and we'd argue, lead culture back towards Christ?
Yeah. I honestly think Christian music is doing a great job at that right now. There is a festival, a really big Christian hip hop festival that just went on, Holy Smoke Fest, which is like No Big Deal if you guys ever heard of No Big Deal.
Love No Big Deal, yeah.
Yeah, man. John Keith and all these guys, Indie Tribe,
Yeah,
is their
I
thing.
love Indie Tribe too.
so do I.
Yeah,
God,
man.
So good.
They had I don't know if you guys know Sway in the Morning, like
Yeah, of
Sway,
course.
Sway
Yeah, New
Calloway.
York.
So
I think,
bro,
Miami?
I think New York, yeah.
yeah, New York.
Bro,
Anyways.
Sway pulled up, and the way I see God piecing the music industry right now to be
Yeah.
able to have a positional place in culture. So Rodney Jerkins, who actually lives here now in Orlando, Rodney Jerkins, known as like Dark Child, he used to work with
Yeah.
friggin' Destiny's Child, Michael Jackson, everybody. Bro.
Oh, yeah. Huge in the 90s.
Yeah, bro. He's Christian now. He starts this label.
Oh, I heard about this.
Bro, this guy Rodney's a great guy, bro. And he starts this Christian label. So now he's got John Keith, Alex Jean, my guy TJ Carroll, and I think there's like maybe two other guys that are on there, two or three other guys that are under him. Bro, this guy, the moves that he is, because of his position in the culture and in the music industry, he is bringing these artists to such a huge place. These guys are on Sway in the Morning. These guys are on Hot 97.
Yeah.
And so you have Christian artists that are now, and so they're putting their festival on. They've been doing this for the last 5 years. Sway goes to the festival. They do a special thing this year where it's like they had a Christian hip hop cypher that Sway was judging. And the winner of that cypher, who's my guy Breno, Sway says, I want you to come on the show and freestyle. And like, well,
Wow.
And so I think what God is doing in the culture right now is stuff that we've never seen before, bro. Like,
Yeah.
And so I think if we can, and I think of even what Forrest Frank is doing, bro, this guy is out of here.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy because he just started releasing music like 2 years ago.
Yeah, buddy.
But Christian music. He was doing music before that, but came out of nowhere and then passed Drake on monthly listeners on YouTube.
Well, how
Drake.
about Rolling Loud this last year?
Miles Minnick, bro.
Yo,
yeah, man.
Out
like,
there, they've got upside down crosses, and
Yeah.
he's just throwing it down over the top. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
And people, you see the videos of it. My son went to one of those. My oldest son, and he's got videos of it, and like everyone's getting down.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, and I mean, if you know the genesis of Rolling Loud's a cannabis concept.
Rolling loud, literally. Roll.
Yeah. Yeah, you're rolling loud.
Yeah.
The loud's the weed. Like
Yep.
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And to go to that place and be able to preach the word of God. We also talked earlier this year about Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
They're on American Idol performing in front of that entire audience, which then is reaching, it's not reaching maybe the youth that like we're speaking to with some of these other examples, but it is like that's reaching now even, our age of people and older
Yep.
who are watching those kind of programs.
Yep.
And then I think it will help to kind of embed in some of the older folks that like something different is happening now with Christian music.
Right. I think it's undeniable. And I think,
That's so exciting.
bro,
It is.
I really do believe, I'm serious, man. Forrest Frank said the same thing in one of his interviews. He's like, give us a year.
There is a revival on. Andy and I have
there
been
is.
talking about it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because we've just seen more and more, you get old enough. And you can start seeing things change.
Yeah.
And we're seeing this new generation of kids coming up that are your age that are they're not buying the scam
Yeah.
of all these elements that we fell in the trap of.
Well, growing up in the 90s, we saw the evangelical movement, right? But it never reached like the next generation of people. It didn't speak to
Right.
them. It's just like it stayed.
It preached
Yeah.
to the crowd.
It preached to the crowd, and they never were willing to change.
Right.
This is how we're going to do it, and it died.
Right.
And so to see a revival of musicians that are singing about Jesus, like you guys are, that are making relevant, good music
Yeah.
that reaches all cultures, people of all different types of
Yeah.
races and ethnicities, and it speaks volumes to it because they're finally hearing the message of Jesus in a way that they get.
Yeah, man.
Like it speaks
Yeah,
to
it
them.
resonates
It
with their
feels
story.
like that they fit in,
Right.
Whereas they don't fit in with the evangelical movement of the '90s. And so you guys are at a really, like, I believe you're at a precipice right now where you guys
Yeah.
are going to be able to take this next generation to a whole nother level. We see the numbers, like the number of men your age,
Yeah.
Gen Z, that are going back to church is crazy. The
Crazy,
cycle
bro.
that's jumping back up
Yeah.
again. And so it's going to take men like you being faithful and stewarding the gift that God has given you.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a lot of weight, bro.
Yeah. It's heavy, man.
It is.
Gotta stay prayed up.
Have to. And, it's, I'm grateful to kind of I'm like older Gen Z. I'm like, I'm grateful that right now I'm not like a 21 or like 22-year-old. I'm grateful that I'm at the age that I am now. it might not sound like a huge difference, 22 versus 26. There's a lot of life that happens.
pivotal
There's a
years.
huge difference between 24 and 25.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something that happens in the brain of a 25-year-old man where it just clicks.
Yeah, bro.
Especially now that you're married.
Yes.
You start to see life differently.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
As you start thinking about, I'm going to have kids.
What do you think
Yeah.
about legacy?
Yep. And I think when I think of this responsibility, and as I believe God will continue to grow that, or kind of build this platform that I know will not last forever, and I know will get to a point where it's like, all right, we're kind of off of this guy now. We're kind of, let's go on to the next one, because there's some 10-year-old right now, there's some 12-year-old right now who is going to be the biggest thing in Christian music in 8 years. You know
What
what
would
I
you
mean?
say to him right now? Or
Good
her?
question.
That's a great question. Keep Christ first. As cliche as that sounds, keep good people around you.
How do you keep Christ first?
Yeah. What do they need to do to keep Christ first?
I think you keep community around you, the Christian community that will correct you and like tell you when you're, being big-headed. I have had times where I'm just full of myself and saying, "Oh man, these guys didn't book me at this, whatever festival. I'll outperform any of these guys." And my friends will come in and be like, "Bro, this is not even why you started doing this. When did this become your heart? You need to go back to, go find
Those are
God."
good friends.
Yeah, man. And so, I would tell that to the 10-year-old, to the 12-year-old.
Surround
right
yourself
now.
with good,
Keep-
biblically oriented
man.
folk.
and learn to tell on yourself when you are not the man that you desire to be.
Gosh, that's great advice.
Like when you are falling short, you
Be vulnerable with those people that you trust.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I thank God for my friends. I thank God for my wife, because with my wife, and this is something I got to work through. I'm a little slower to say things, because again, I don't want to seem like inadequate. I don't want to seem like less of a man. It's sometimes easier for me to go to like my best friends, my boys, and be like, yo, chat, hit my chat, yo, chat, I'm going,
It's important. Our last series was about having good male companionships.
Yeah.
You've only been married for a year.
Yeah.
There are conversations that just need to be happening
That's
with
right.
men.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
You never have to
Yep.
feel like you're not letting your wife in on something when it is one of those conversations. And as you get
Yeah.
older, you're going to discern the two.
Yeah.
You just
Especially
will.
if it's issues around lust.
Yeah, that's just
Those
not
are the
something.
conversations
I think
you need to
men
have with
get
your
it.
guy friends.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because I mentored a lot of guys that are dealing with pornography or dealing with the struggles of being on social media, looking at inappropriate things. And what they do is they go confess everything to the wife. Because what it does, it relieves you and it crushes her. Because
Makes her
now
feel it's
every
not
time you
enough.
pick up your phone, she's going to be wondering, what are you looking at? Who are you thinking about? What's going on with that? You feel relieved, but it just puts a wedge in between the two of you. So when it comes to this topic,
And the next time you fail, and you will, because we're these broken individuals.
Yep.
Then you can't look at her the same. And that is another wedge. And,
and
then
your
it
words
just
don't
builds.
mean anything the next time and the next time and the next time and the next
Right.
time, because you're a liar.
Right.
So
When you're not, but that's what the devil wants to do, is he wants to create a wedge in a Christian marriage. One of the things he hates the most is a solid Christian marriage, because you have the best odds of doing the most damage to his side of the world. You have a greater voice if you're emulating to people what a good, healthy Christian marriage looks like that you didn't have.
Wow.
That you didn't have that vision growing up. And so now
Yeah.
you get to set the tone for that. But Johnny's exactly right, there are certain things that you only want to share with your guy friends that you're struggling with.
And sometimes you're struggling with something with your wife.
Right.
And you go to one of your good
Sometimes.
buddies. Yeah. And you go to one of your good buddies that you respect, and you go, bajillion times, my wife said this thing about me. And your buddy
Yeah.
goes, yeah, it's obvious. And you
Yeah.
go, what? You think?
It
Yeah.
was the angry thing with you, right?
Oh my gosh. We don't have to get into that whole thing. We talk about that later, but
Yeah.
that was recently,
Yeah, man.
and my buddies go, yeah, because you are that. And then I have to really reflect on that. That's being received by everybody that way. Boy, that's something I have to work on.
Facts.
And then I can
Yeah.
approach God and I can say, hey, God, I got this deficiency in me.
Yep.
I need your help with this. And then he's always faithful to step in. But we don't always recognize all of our deficiencies.
Yep.
That's why it's so important and critical to have men around us that are biblically oriented
Yep.
to help us gather our thoughts and help us formulate our life. And you'll do the same for them. And that's that vulnerability back and forth, and it creates
Yeah.
these bonds. And then you're also going to have the times where you do need to speak directly to your wife.
Yep.
Why are
Yep.
you talking to me about this? Again, a good friend is going to do that. Why are you bringing this up to me? You need to go talk to your wife right now.
right.
Right.
So
Yep.
those things are going to happen too.
Facts.
What
Yeah,
does your
man.
daily walk with Jesus look like? What do you do day to day that kind of helps strengthen your relationship with Christ?
Be married? No. That is one. But
Marriage is a sacrament, so it is absolutely something that God has given you to help you.
yeah,
with that.
man. So my schedule. I get up at 4:30 in the mornings. Well, not on the weekends. Monday through Friday, I'm usually up
Me too.
4:30. Yeah.
Him too.
Yeah, man. That's where it's at. The
That's
early
it.
mornings. I'm trying to get my boys on that, man. Tighten up.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4:30, and then I'll usually spend the first like 30 minutes to an hour just reflecting and praying and like just starting my day with the Lord.
Mhm.
And then
First fruits.
yeah, man, first fruits of your day.
You reading the Bible?
Yeah, man. But not just that. Like I recently, I don't know if you guys know the Bema podcast, Marty Solomon and Brent Billings.
Not familiar with it. I'll look
Oh,
at it.
Yeah.
amazing, man! These guys, their approach to the scriptures reminds me a lot of the way Pastor Mike teaches. I've kind of been walking through the Bible with them. So I'm in New Testament right now. Just finished Matthew and going into Mark. They're giving, history as well as Bible, which I just love, and I
love
never
that.
was taught that
The
stuff.
two go
growing up.
hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're completely necessary for one another.
Yeah,
Cultural
man.
context
Huge.
means so much when you're reading the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's kind of my mornings, and then as the day goes on, as I'm actually working and getting work done, I'm trying to get to a place right now. I'm not perfect at this. That's why I say trying. I am trying to just invite God throughout my day, and so because I'm home all day, the temptation is, let me sleep, let me lounge around, let me, just kind of sit on the couch, rather than I gotta get to work, man. And I think inviting God in those moments has been really helpful for me. And then even like recently, my wife and I nightly, we've for a while now been doing nightly devotions, like
That's great.
listening to them as we go to sleep and just meditating on it.
Yep.
And we just cuddle, man. We cuddle till we fall asleep.
One of your
Well, till
lyrics
I fall
is
asleep. I fall
one of your
asleep first.
lyrics is I
love
pray
that,
over
yeah.
my wife Angelique,
Yeah,
and I
Yeah.
my eyes might have sweat a little bit when I heard you say that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like such a powerful statement to make.
yeah.
It's a beautiful statement. And
Yeah,
that's
man.
part of that too.
It's true intimacy.
Yeah, that's major, bro. That, and even as I was talking to my counselor about this yesterday, because I'm just kind of trying to explore this whole idea of why I don't feel like enough and all this stuff,
Yep.
But pornography came up in the conversation, and one of the thoughts I had leaving counseling yesterday was like, man, maybe I don't want to, or maybe I need to have a rewiring in my brain of what sex is and what intimacy is. Because pornography just says take from this woman.
Yep.
I think real intimacy says give.
Sure does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
buddy.
what do you want? What do you need? Not that I'm just like
It's not
giving
that.
up all of my wants,
No.
But if I can focus on what you need, and if you're focusing on what I need, we are joining.
That's exactly
and
right.
it's not just, that's why I said the thing earlier, chore play. I don't know if I said that before the podcast or not, but it's like yesterday morning, man, I'm just like cleaning the toilet and the tub because Angela had mentioned something because I'll say this super quick. I know we're wrapping up. Angeli's birthday is next week, and so she's trying to plan her birthday out still. And she's like, she mentioned something in passing. She's like, man, I just really, still stressed, and I still just have stuff to clean, and toilet and the bed. And I was like, let me go ahead and take care of it. So I cleaned it yesterday, and it's this idea of like, it's not just sex. It's building intimacy by actually serving you in the way that you need to be served.
That's it, man.
It's brilliant.
And yeah, man. So
remember that all the days of your life, and your marriage will go better than most.
yeah, yes, sir.
Exactly
yes,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
How can people find you, Christopher?
You can find me I was going to try to say something stupid and corny. I couldn't think of anything on that quick.
Is this why you don't freestyle?
Yeah, that's why I don't freestyle, man. You can find me in some cave somewhere alone. Instagram, Christopher at Christopher Syncere, Syncere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's all the same thing. Spotify, Christopher Syncere.
Give everyone the album title again.
Yeah, album. This used to be fun. And
now.
it's out now, man.
It's on all the platforms.
All platforms. Go give it a listen, and you might like it.
Thank you so much for spending so
Yeah.
much time with us today and for just really getting deep in your story, man.
Yes, sir.
This is very inspiring.
Thanks for your honesty, your
Yeah.
vulnerability. That's the stuff that matters to people the most.
Yes, sir.
They get to see one version of you online, and they don't get to always know the backstory of everything that got you to where you are today. Johnny said earlier, you're an overnight success that's been building for 10 years, and a lot of your building has been done on the back of pain that you have gone through. And so your willingness to share those innermost parts of yourself, that's the gold, man.
Yeah, you guys rock, man.
Thanks.
I appreciate you guys' wisdom. I always want to listen to those that are further along, because you guys are the real heroes, man. Like if it wasn't for people growing up that were further along than me, all I have to learn from is people that are on the same level as me. And that's not, the best thing to kind of get your wisdom from. And so I appreciate you guys,
Got it.
Absolutely, brother.
Friends, Christopher Syncere. Go out, get the album. This used to be fun everywhere. You can buy an album. You can get it on iTunes, everywhere. So go check that out, please. It's so good. It is so good. It's as good as anything else on the radio sonically. And the message you can listen to with your family. You can listen to with your kids. So go get that. And men, hear some of those things in this guy's story.
Yeah.
Are you an older man who has someone around him that you can mentor and you can pour into? That position is so valuable. You heard it in his entire tale of this need to want to prove himself. I talk to you about that all the time. There's something that lacks when a father's not around. So if there is a child around you that doesn't have a father around and you have an opportunity, step in. And young men that might be listening, welcome. Thank you so much. Do what he's doing. Listen to his stuff. Try to avoid some of these secular things and try to just give Jesus a shot. He's got a lot to offer you. Your life will be tremendously better the minute you choose him. He steps in and just makes everything so much clearer and so much more purpose-driven, and it'll give you fulfillment in your life. So thank you so much for joining us, Johnny Hansen, Andy Lamb. We go by UPD. We just want to pray that you have a deep and a fulfilling relationship with Jesus, and that he blesses you all the days of your life.
And all God's people said.
They said amen.
They sure did. Have a good week, man.
Thanks again, friend.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.